running. Where are these women? We need to, She's a social worker, and she's a coordinator of the MSW online program at West Virginia University. Another smart girl. She's a formal adult protective service worker and police officer. Now, she and her husband, Brian, have been married. Ryan, sorry. Ryan have been married for 29 years. She did marry very young. I think she had to get her parents' permission or whatever. And they have 2 children, and they 2 children who live here too. Go there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey. So I brought some notes. I do teach. So I brought the notes. I was told I had an assignment tonight to talk about democracy. So I brought notes and citations. As someone that does teach graduate level students here in West Virginia, I understood or I can appreciate this very seemingly a simple assignment of speaking about democracy, which in fact is quite difficult to do, and I was told 3 minutes, but apparently we can stretch that. So I got a little bit more time. So I've been thinking a lot about democracy and kind of what I wanted to say tonight and how do I talk about it in such a short amount of time. And I thought, do I talk about, growing up and my parents taking me to like the Gettysburg battlefield, or my mom stopping to read every single historical roadside sign between here and Ocean City, Maryland on our way to the beach, a tradition that I kind of passed to, gave to my children. I talked about the trips to Mount Vernon and Monticello that really embedded in me this deep patriotic sentiment and sense of civic duty. I could talk about marrying my Marine. He became a Marine at 17, and I spent my latter teenage years writing letters to him as he was deployed around the world protecting us here at home. We didn't have FaceTime then, so that distance was very, very long. It was way, way back when. I could also talk about taking an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States just days after my 21st birthday when I swore an oath as a police officer in Chesapeake, Virginia. I could talk about my role as an adult protective service worker here in West Virginia, where my job was to uphold adults' right to self-determination and making decisions for their life, and upholding their rights as citizens here in America. Just a very underrated role, and I'm determined to lift up every APS worker there is out there, because there may become a day when any one of us could be in a situation where they are in our lives. All of those things are really important, and they have a lot to do with why I'm here and running for state senate. But really what I want to do is to remind you of what you and each and every one of you are fighting for, and to talk to you about your assignment. Ryan and I were walking down through Elkins the other day talking about this speech, and he said something to me that was just really chilling, and it's really stuck with me ever since. It's just kind of been on repeat in my head. And he said that democracy will not die on the battlefield. It will die to the sound of thunderous applause. And I can see that through line in my head, as I'm sure each and every one of you can. I can see it when I think of disengaged voters, when I think about the apathy of the people, when I think of the suppressed vote, book bannings, and our rights being systematically stripped away from us here in America and here in West Virginia. Literally the rights to our own bodies were stripped away at our state legislature in a rushed interim legislative session where I watched politicians arbitrarily throwing out the number of weeks that they would put on bans to an abortion. Just 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, without any input from medical professionals, without any debate, without any input from our citizens. In fact, they threw the citizens out of the gallery and laughed about it. That is chilling. When I see a major political party raise up a man that bragged about sexually assaulting women, who lies whenever his mouth is open, who is a convicted felon, a man who tried to overthrow our democracy and has routinely encouraged political violence as their presidential candidate. Yeah, I can see that through line that my husband was talking about. People think that freedom is only won on the battlefield in some kind of blaze of glory, but that is not true. Democracy is fought for in every generation, and it's by sharing ideas, it is by the written word, it is by voting, it is by people like you who show up, it is about the news, our independent news that comes out and reports stories in our communities. That's who fights for democracy. And we need you to show up and speak out. We need you to counter every lie, to speak about our democracy, to get people out to vote, and to not give up. We need you to fight for our democracy and to reclaim the patriotism that was always ours. We need you to loudly and proudly support every Democratic candidate from the top of the ticket to the bottom, and so that we can make change and we can pass on the story to the next generation, how we showed up and saved this country. Yes. And that is your assignment. And okay, for my citations, so actually later, we found out that my husband may have been quoting a Star Wars movie. I'm so glad you're here. Don't give up. Get out there and spread the word. And I mean, speak up.